Hello creators! In this video I'm going to show you how I easily create and sell mug wraps on Etsy using MyDesigns. So let's get started. So the first thing that I like to do before I ever sell any products on Etsy is to actually research what's selling. That way I feel like I'm not wasting my time on something that's not going to sell. And I like to use etsyhunt.com to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go to database, Etsy product database, and then I'm just going to search mug wrap here at the top. That way we can go ahead and see some results for what is actually selling. You can see here, looks like there's some books and coffee mugs. 3D mug wrap bundle. This 3D animal crack with the hole in the wall seems to be really popular right now, and they're most certainly AI generated images, pretty much every one of them. There's another 3D bookshelf hole in the wall. That theme seems to be doing really well. If we go to the next page here, I'm sure we'll find some more doing the exact same thing. 3D sharks, looks like a hole into the wall, or rather the ocean. A 3D kitten. So it looks like that niche is doing really well. So I'm going to jump over to MyDesigns now, and we're going to go ahead and use Dream AI to see if we can replicate something similar to what they're doing here. I'm on the dashboard now of the MyDesigns website. What I'm going to do is navigate down to Dream AI under Create here. And you'll see that I've already got some images that I've generated ahead of time, just so I could save some time on the video. But I will run through this really quickly if you've never used Dream AI, just to show you how it works. So the mode we're on is text to image. What that means is it's reading this text we gave it here and generating an image based off of that. You can also select different styles. This one was the digital art style. If I select the one right before, this is the exact same prompt, but you can see it's the comic book style. We have it set to generate 4 images at a time at a 1:1 aspect ratio. Other than that, you just go ahead and click Dream. So I'm just going to click this once to show you how it works. But after that, I'm just going to go through some of these I've already generated, and we'll work with those for the video. So once I click Dream, you'll see that it's pulling up these. It's saying Dreaming. It only takes about 10-15 seconds, and then we'll have another 4 images there. Some of these are really good, so I'm just going to go through and select the ones I want to use. Let's say maybe this one. So if we like the image, all we have to do is select it. We're going to click Save to Listing. I'm not going to upscale. I'll do that later. The collection is basically a folder that we're saving this to. I created one ahead of time that was called 11 and 15 ounce mug wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I want it to create a new listing with this image, and then I'm going to put this image in the primary file slot. Then I'm going to go ahead and click Save to Listings, and then Yes, Store Image. That's how easy it is to start using one of these images to generate and sell on products, or as a physical, or excuse me, as a digital product. So now that we've got one, let's go ahead and get a couple more of these images. We've already got one dog. I think we'll just stick with that. This prompt right here says it has the circular hole in the wall, which was the theme that we were using. We were doing 3D cartoon style, as well as the circular hole in the wall that has cracks. It leads to a lush landscape with a giant waterfall in the distance. So that's a very pretty image. It looks like it was under digital art. So I'm just going to go ahead and maybe select this one here to use. And then we'll go ahead and click Save to Listing once again. Just select the primary file and then click Yes, Store. So now we've got 2 images that we're working with. I think that for this video, I'm going to go ahead and just use about 4 or 5. So maybe we'll go ahead and select one of these. And by the way, at any point, if you want to pause the video, you can see what the actual prompt was that I used to generate this specific type of image. It's pretty much the same for all of these up to this point here. Then it changes to saying it leads to something else, or it's a pit bull wearing sunglasses, or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one as well. We'll save that to a listing, and then maybe we'll select one of these beach ones and save that to a listing. And then one more, because I noticed there were some of these book ones that were doing really well as well on Etsy Hunt when we looked. So let's go ahead and select maybe this one here. and we'll save this to a listing as well. And then we're going to jump over to the listings and start working on these and get them ready to sell as digital mug wraps. So all I want to do next is just go ahead and click the listings tab here. You'll see it takes me straight to the one we were already working with, and you'll see that we have all 5 of these images ready to go for us to start working on. So the first thing that I like to do after I generate my images in Dream AI is to upscale the image so that we can get a higher quality picture. I've already done that off video, but I'll go ahead and show you how to do it if you don't know how. So first you want to select all of the listings that you want to upscale, which is all, for me, is going to be all 5 of them that we generated in Dream AI. Next, you could go to all actions, upscale image, and you'll see I'm getting a warning because I've already upscaled these. This is the max upscale that we'll allow, is a 4 times upscale right now. But once you get to this point, you just select the input file slot, which is the file that you're trying to upscale. The output file slot is going to be where you're putting the new file that is upscaled, and you can actually override it if you'd like to. You don't need to keep both, which is what I did. Once you do that, you'll just click upscale image. It takes about 10 seconds to do 5 images. But then you can click the information tab here, and you'll see that all of my images are 4096 by 4096 now at 72 ppi. So after we've upscaled, the next step is to actually go and create the file, the digital file for these mug wraps that our customer's going to receive. So we can do that by once again selecting all of the listings that we are working with here, which I already have selected. But if you don't remember, you just click select all, and then we're going to go into the canvas. From here, we want a template that's going to be set up at the exact correct dimensions for these mug wraps. So we can do that by going to templates, and I'm going to click custom size. And I can actually leave these dimensions in the description of the video if anyone wants to use them as well. We're doing 11-ounce mugs and 15-ounce mugs, and they are separate dimensions. I like to start with the 15-ounce mug as it's a larger file and it's easier to downsize the image for the 11-ounce. So for the 15-ounce, we want 2700 by 1200 pixels, and then we'll go ahead and create. So now you can see we have the correct canvas. The next step is to add the files. So I'm going to go ahead and click add listing file here at the top right. I'm going to select the input file slot, which is the image that we just created in Dream AI and then upscaled. And I'm going to click add to all. Now the reason I'm clicking add to all is because I want to do this with all 5 files at a single time. I don't want to have to go in and do this individually for each one. So once I click add to all, you'll see this image pulls up. And it's only showing us the first listing that we have, but if I go down here and click, you'll see that I'm actually working with all 5 of them. So now I'm going to go ahead and just move this over. I actually can click edit photo, or excuse me, position, and we can go left and center. Well, excuse me, left and middle is what we want it to be at. And then I can hold shift here, or excuse me, not shift, alt, and I can actually copy this image. On mugs, if you've ever sold them before, the image wraps around the mug. So I like to do one image on one side and one image on the other. That way that on the mug, it was going to be like one here and one here on opposite sides. So once we have this here, we actually just have to go ahead and change the size of this a bit. What I like to do is do it slightly bigger than half of the canvas. So the width right here is 1200. Half of our canvas would have been half of 2700, which I believe is 1350. So I like to go 5 pixels bigger than that, which would be 355, and then click enter. So now you'll see it made that image slightly larger, and I'm actually going to delete this one and just recopy this one now by holding alt and dragging over. So once we have these images, now all we have to do is go back to our position. We want to go middle and we want to go left on this one. And then on this one, we want to go middle and it's already set to right, which is why it's blacked out like that. And this is another cool feature that a lot of people aren't aware of. But when you have 2 images like this that are basically identical, what you can do is click on one and then you can flip it horizontally. And now you've got a seamless pattern, as you can see. So on a mug, if I flip this back, you'll see there's no seamless pattern over here or on the other end. So now, if you can tell the difference, to me it makes a huge difference. I think that looks much cleaner when it's seamless like that. But just like that, we've created a print ready file, or rather a digital file that's ready to be sold. All we have to do now, because you can see these ones down here, it's not complete on. So just all we have to do is go back to our original one. We just right click on our image and go sync, and then right click on this one and click sync, and now you'll see these ones are also perfectly set up. The only difference is we don't have a feature to where you can flip every image horizontally or vertically at the same time. So when you're working with multiple, if you want to do this little trick I just showed you, you have to go in and click each one individually. But to me, like I said, it makes a world of difference. I think it looks so much better when they're seamless like this. But now we have all 5 of our files ready to be sold for mug wraps. So I'll go ahead and add these now. Excuse me, I didn't mean add, I meant I'll go ahead and save these now. Adding would be adding a new file. What I want to do is go ahead and click save. I'm going to select the output file slot, which is my 15-ounce mug file. Like I said, I created these file slots and named them that just because I don't like to be confused on which is which. 15-ounce mug file is where I want to save these. I'm going to save them as a PNG, and then that should take about 5 to 10 seconds. And then we'll go ahead and jump back into the canvas and create our file for the 11-ounce mug. And now that that's done, I'll go ahead and show you what these look like. I can double click here and it will show you. I can even do a pop out here to show you what it looks like a bit larger. I think those are fantastic. I think they will do really well based off of the research we just did to see what is actually selling. And then I'll just show you the rest of them. I think these all look fantastic. But now the next step, like I said, is to just go back into Canvas. This time we're going to set up a new template that is for the 11-ounce mug, and this time it's 2,250 by 1,050. We'll go ahead and click create. Now I'm going to go ahead and click add listing file again, but this time I'm going to select that 15-ounce mug file that we had, and I'm going to click add to all. So now you can see all we have to do here is just go ahead and extend this a little bit, and then we're going to go back to position and we're going to do it in the center. And then we're going to right click and click sync. That way it does it for all of these ones as well. You'll see the only difference on these 11-ounce ones is that it cuts off the edges just a bit. So on the 15-ounce one, we could see the top of this arch a little bit more, and we could see it on most of these. So when you do the 11-ounce one, if you're doing them at the same time, you're going to have to downscale, or downsize rather, the original image. But now that these are ready to go, all we have to do is click save again. We're going to save them in the 11-ounce mug file, and then that should take about 10 to 15 seconds, and I'll jump back over and show you what those look like. And now that that's done, I'll go ahead and double click the 11-ounce. I mean, you can't really tell much of a difference, but like I said, the arch on some of them is the only difference. So we only really have 2 steps left now that we have our files ready to be sold. We need to create some good looking mockups, and then we need to fill out this data for our listing. So I'm going to go ahead and do mockups next. All I have to do is select all of the listings, click the mockups tab here, click create image mockup, and then we're doing these as digital files if you remember right. So under the category here, I'm going to select digital, not drinkware. And then I'm going to search mug at the top here, and that way it's going to show the catalog of just all the mugs in the digital niche. So we can turn on multi-mockup here too, so that we can generate multiple mockups at once. And I'm just going to go ahead and select this 11-ounce template. Make sure as well that we have the correct input file slot. So you'll see here, once I select this, we want to go to the 11-ounce mug file, as this is the 11-ounce. It's showing the 11-ounce print file. And so we're going to select the 15-ounce print file next, and we're going to make sure we select that 15-ounce print file that we created. Other than that, I do want to just get a couple of different mugs. We'll select this one. It's an 11-ounce mug. Actually, we need to do the ones that have multiple, because that's what our print file is set for. So we'll select this one. Then we'll select one of these 15-ounce ones, maybe this one here. And I think that should be good to just have one of each, and then we'll go ahead and make sure that they're mapped correctly. You can see it'll automatically save to an empty file slot, but I just want to make sure it's being done in order. I'm going to go mockup 1. It's telling me there's duplicates detected, but I'm going to change them all. We're going to go 2, 3, and 4. And then just like that, all I have to do is click Generate Mockups. And that will take, like I said, typically any of these functions is about 10 to 15 seconds at the most, and they're done. You'll see here at the top it says processing 16 jobs. It's creating 4 of those mockups that we selected for all 5 of our listings. So it looks like they just got done. Now you'll see under our file slots down here that they are now populated. So let's go ahead and double click these so that we can take a look. There's a grid view that allows us to see them a little better. So just like that, we've now created all of the mockups for our listings. You'll see on the 15-ounce one, the bottom there, there's a little bit of white. That's how the 15-ounce prints. If it has bleed, no bleed mugs, I believe we're getting eventually, but this is a digital file. It's not going to actually be on a physical product. But then you'll see the 15-ounce actual image and the 11-ounce image. Now that we're done with mockups, our next step is to just do the data, and then these listings are ready to be published. I'm going to go ahead and just select our primary file again. This is one of my favorite things about MyDesigns. We can actually use what we call Vision AI to generate the data for these listings. What Vision AI does is it just scans the image that you feed it and generates data based off of that. So I'll go ahead and click that Vision AI. If you're going to use it, once again, always make sure you have the file selected that you want this to apply to. The input file slot, I'm going to just use that primary file. I don't want to use our print files that have multiple images on them. Next, I'm going to select digital. Or we can do other and specify if we would like to. I'm going to see what the results we get from digital are. The platform's Etsy. I want it to generate a title, a description, and tags. I'm going to go ahead and add some custom instructions here. I'm just going to say this is a digital file, digital PNG file. The customer won't receive a physical product. And then we'll go ahead and just click Generate Listing Data and see what that gives us. Now that it's done, we'll go ahead and just look through a couple of these and make sure they're correct. One thing I will say, I tell this to everybody that uses Vision AI, it is meant to be a tool to help you get about 80 to 90% of the way there, but you always want to double check your listings, your tags, your title, your description, whatever you generate, to just make sure everything is good. Digital library, wall art, vintage bookshelf, printable, instant download, home office decor, reading nook design, unique book art PNG. So I really think that's quite a good title. I would change it just a little bit if I was actually selling these. I'm just doing this as an example for the video. I would go in there and say digital download in the title somewhere. Just to make sure people know what it is. But the tags over here look fantastic as well. But it did that for all 5 of these, and it took about 20 seconds. Like I said, if I was actually selling these, I might look through this a little bit more. But I'm just showing you guys how to do it. So the next step is just going to be publishing these products. So once we got all of our mockups, our files, and our data done, we can go to Publish Listings in the top right corner here. We're going to publish digital listings, and we're going to select the files that we want to sell. So this is now says select the files you would like to sell. If you remember right, it's just our 11-ounce and our 15-ounce file. We'll deselect the primary file, and then we'll go ahead and click next step. Next, we're choosing our mockups. So we're going to deselect the primary file again. We're going to actually deselect all of these because it will list the mockups in order of how you click them when they're published to Etsy. So I want the 11-ounce mug to be shown first, and then the print files, and then the 15-ounce mug. So once we select the mockups we would like, we just click next step. This is where you can map your data, but it's already all mapped because all we had is one title, description, and tags. There is no price, as you can see down here, but we can actually just click bulk edit, and we're going to just change the price to $5.99 and the quantity to $9.99, and we're going to do this in bulk, so it'll apply to all 5 of these listings we were selling. And then we'll click next step. The MDS, this is where you'll select your shop, and then the category is going to be under digital. And then we'll click next step again. This is the final preview that MyDesigns gives you of what your listing looks like before you actually click publish. So I think those look fantastic. We'll go ahead and click publish, and then I'm going to jump over to our Etsy shop once these jobs are done and show you what that looks like there. I'm now over on the Etsy shop that I have this account connected to. You'll see under draft, which is where everything you publish from MyDesigns will always go to your draft folder, because Etsy charges you a 20-cent listing fee per listing, so we can't just send it straight to active or you'll automatically get charged. So it comes to draft, and you can review them here before you just select them and click publish. But that is how easy it is to create these mug wraps that are so popular right now using MyDesigns. So I hope everything in this video made sense. If you guys liked it and enjoyed it, please like it, comment on it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future MyDesigns content.